Hello, welcome to Glitter Goddess Yoga. My name is Anne, part of the Glitter Goddesses. Today we'll be doing a restorative flow, so it'll be nice and gentle and slow. As usual, because I can't respond to your bodies, be really intentional moving into poses while you're in poses. And you can take child's pose at any point throughout the flow to rest, to recalibrate the breath. Shout out to Providence Community Library for making these yoga classes happen. And we are continuing to take donations through the Glitter Goddess Venmo for the decolonization work that's happening here at the House of Glitter as well. Another exciting thing is Pronk Fest. So this weekend and next weekend, we'll be celebrating in a community with Pronk. Some of the goddesses are on the Pronk committee, so we're really excited to be offering some COVID-safe mini Pronk experiences. You can check out those at providencehonkfest.org. All right, so let's get started. Have a pillow and blanket for support. Definitely have some water nearby. We're going to start seated. Find a nice, tall, long spine. Maybe roll the shoulders back. You can close your eyes here or find a soft gaze. Start to tap into the natural breath. Just notice where the breath is now. Noticing the sensation of air filling the lungs and leaving the lungs. And as you're here, I'll encourage you to lengthen each breath, finding deeper, slower inhales, smoother, more controlled exhales. And with this slowed breath, I'll encourage you to find a 4 count in. So breathing in 1, 2, 3, 4, and then slowly exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, we'll inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. On our next inhale, we'll press the chest forward, reaching the hips back. And on the exhale, you can cave in, rounding the spine, let the chin fall to the chest. Again, slow inhale. You can use the knees to pull, pressing the chest forward, opening the heart, maybe opening the throat. And on the exhale, rounding down, chin to chest. Inhaling again, syncing the breath to the movement. Open heart, open throat. And exhale, round the spine. One more time, we'll inhale to press the chest forward. Slow 4 count. And exhale, round the spine. Bringing the spine back to center. We can roll the shoulders up toward the ears and back a couple times. And we'll drop the head, left ear to left shoulder. Reach the right arm out. You can grab the side of the head with the left arm. Here you can just let the elbow hang heavy without pulling any extra weight. Taking care of these delicate muscles in the neck. And from here, we'll turn toward the shoulder, grabbing the back of the head. And release. We'll do the other side. Dropping the head to the right side, reaching the left arm out. Keeping that slow, controlled breath. And keeping that left shoulder down and back, we'll turn toward the right shoulder, grabbing the back of the head. When you're ready, you can release the head. We'll reach that right arm up and over and press the left hand into the mat next to you. Maybe opening the chest up toward the ceiling. And we'll reach over to the other side, dropping the right hand down, left hand up and over. And we'll come back to center. Let's bring the arms out wide, opening up, and then we'll cross the right over the left. Give yourself a big hug. We'll take a moment here to recalibrate in the breath, finding that 4 count in and out. Opening up the space between the shoulder blades, keeping those shoulders low. Maybe take this moment within these couple of breaths to find some self-love. Offer yourself a moment of appreciation. And from here, we'll stretch the right out long and bend in the left, keeping that right shoulder down, maybe rotating that right wrist. And you can stay here, and if it feels comfortable for you, wrapping the right arm on the left for eagle arms. If you are in eagle arms, you can think about inhaling to raise the elbows up, exhaling to press the hands away from the face. Remaining in that slow breath zone, inhaling to lift, exhaling to press the hands away. We'll take one more breath here. And we'll release, roll the shoulders up and back. And we'll send the arms out wide again, crossing the left over the right. Again, we'll give ourselves a big hug. I'll offer you the space to take a couple breaths with yourself. Maybe close your eyes. Finding that slow, controlled breath. Take this moment to hug yourself the way you would a best friend or family member. And when you've offered yourself enough self-love, we'll bend in the right, stretching out the left. Keep that left shoulder down and back. You can rotate out the left wrist. And if you have access to it, Wrap the left around to meet the right for eagle arms. And again, if you're here, we can inhale to lift. Exhale to press away. Inhale to lift. Exhale, pressing away. Inhale to lift. Exhale, press away. And we'll release. Again, rolling the shoulders up and back. From here, we'll go into a twist. We'll bring the left hand to the right knee, the right hand behind us. And we can use our inhales here to almost lift in the chest, finding alignment in the spine, finding length. And on the exhales, we can turn deep into the twist, completing the twist by turning the chin all the way to the right. This pose is a great place to center into the belly breath, sending the breath beyond the chest, into the belly. On the next inhale, we'll raise the arms up and over. To exhale and drop to the other side. Again, using the inhale to find length in the spine, and the exhale to twist deeper. Centering into the belly breath. Slow, controlled belly breaths allow the diaphragm to almost massage the vagus nerve, that really important piece of the central nervous system, the parasympathetic nervous system, telling our bodies, I am safe, I am at peace. One big belly breath in, raise the arms up overhead. And we'll exhale, arms back down into our laps. Again, we'll inhale to press the chest forward, shoulders back. Exhale to round the spine, chin to chest. Inhale, press the chest forward. Exhale, round the spine. One more time, inhale and press the chest forward. Exhale, round the spine. From here, we'll bring length back to the spine and roll out the wrists. And then facing the fingers toward the body, you can press the fingers and then the palms into the floor, opening up the wrists, opening up the forearms, maybe adding some topical heat to the forearms, warming up the fascia. From here, before we meet in tabletop, I'll invite you to take a sip of water. And in tabletop, I like to encourage folks to use a small pillow or blanket beneath the knees for support. And one thing we always check in with here is that our knees are stacked below the hips and that our wrists are stacked below the shoulders. So here we'll continue that breath, pressing the chest forward on the inhales. And rounding the spine on the exhales. Reaching the chest forward, hips up and back on the inhales. And exhale to round the spine, tucking the hips. Sync this movement to your own breath. You don't have to follow me. As long as you're keeping slow, controlled inhales and exhales, intentionally moving alongside your breath as a guide. You can think about pressing the hands in toward the body as you press the chest forward and hips up and back. You can think about almost trying to slide the mat away, opposite direction. On cat, rounding the spine, maybe creating some more space between the shoulder blades. And let's find our last round of cat-cow. Coming back to a neutral spine. Let's send the right foot back, tucking the toes. You can press back into this, almost bouncing, reaching the heel back, opening up the calf. And then we'll pick up that right foot, bending the knee, we'll drop it next to our right hand. Just opening up the hip gently, we can think about reaching the hips up and back again, pressing the each part of the foot into the floor here. Keeping that slow, controlled breath. And when you're ready, we'll drop that right knee down to meet the left. And we'll send the left leg back this time, tucking the toes, reaching the heel back. Bouncing into this to open up the calf, open up the leg. And for this gentle hip opener on the left side, we'll drop the left foot next to the left hand. Maybe sinking into the hip a little bit, noticing any sensations in the psoas, in the lower back, and the outer hip. And we'll send that left knee down to meet the right. And from here, going into plank, we'll send both legs out this time. We're just here for a moment, finding some strength in the arms. You can lower the knees if that feels better for you. And then we'll lower down to the mat. So if you haven't dropped the knees down, you can. We'll untuck the toes, bending the elbows. We'll drop the hips, chest, shoulders. Just take a moment here against the floor. While we're here, recalibrating the breath, you can think about hugging the earth, The same way we hugged ourselves, send the same love you would to a best friend or to a family member into the earth below you. And when you're ready, we'll press up into Sphinx. Here we're stacking the elbows beneath the shoulders. You can press the palms into the floor or press the palms into one another. Here we're working toward pressing the hips into the floor, maybe pointing the toes behind us, engaging in the lower back, finding length in the neck by pressing down, energy into the floor through the elbows, finding as much length in the neck and in the spine as you can. Keeping that belly breath. And on your next exhale, release back down to the floor. Maybe stacking the hands to rest your head. And again, we'll press ourselves back up for Sphinx. Elbows beneath the shoulders. You can point the toes, engage in the legs, pressing the hips into the floor, engage in the lower back. Trying to find as much space between the ears and the shoulders. We're sending the head tall and long. And as you're here, try to notice how much you can tighten and contract in the lower back, how much you can press the chest up while keeping this engagement of the breath in the core. Noticing that the lower back is also a part of the core. This is a great place to isolate the belly breath from chest breath. On your next exhale, we'll release back down. Again, you can stack the hands to rest the head. And once you've taken a couple breaths here, we'll press back up into the knees through tabletop. And we'll go into child's pose. So the knees can be about hip width distance. We'll touch the toes behind us and send the hips over the ankles, reaching the hands up overhead. And from here, we'll crawl the hands to the upper right side, stretching the left side body, the left side of the back. You can think about crawling the left hand forward as far as you possibly can, as if the left palm is stuck in the floor, reaching that left hip down and back, allowing the head to hang heavy here. And we'll crawl the hands back through center, resting the forehead onto the earth. With palms into the floor, we can think about pulling energy from the earth the same way a seed would. I've heard this pose in the past be, relating to a seed and this metaphor of our bodies being able to pull the same nutrients and energy from earth as plants do. So we'll reach over to the upper left side as a plant would reach its roots out, stretching its way into the earth before it grows. You can think about planting that right palm into the floor, reaching the right hip down and back, creating some space in the back on the right side. Counter stretching the lower back muscles that we contracted in Sphinx. Noticing our capacity to reach the hips far back and down as we possibly can. When you're ready, we'll crawl back to center again. From here, let's slide the hands to the outsides of our knees, pressing the palms into the earth. Just let the elbows reach back, let the head hang heavy. You can crawl the knees closer to one another if that feels good for you. Taking this moment here again to center in with the belly breath. As you inhale in the belly breath, you could feel the belly pressing against the thighs, inflating like a balloon. And on your slow, controlled exhales, that balloon deflating. Feeling into this seed-like position, we can think about our feet and our legs being the roots. From here, we'll lean forward to tuck the toes behind us, and we'll roll onto the feet. You can open up the calves here, maybe sending the knees from chest to floor, pressing your roots into the earth. And when you do feel rooted enough, we'll come to our toes, taking our hands off the floor, finding balance here. And we'll slowly roll the heels into the floor as we come to forward fold. Maybe grabbing the backs of the legs once you're here, letting the head hang heavy. Maybe grabbing opposite elbows. You can shake the head yes, nod the head no. From here, let's release the hands. Inhale, pressing the knees, locking the knees in. We'll exhale to bend the knees. Inhale to straighten. Exhale to bend. Thinking about pulling energy in from the bottom of the feet. We'll inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhaling again, pulling that energy up and into the body. Exhale to bend. Slow, controlled inhale, pulling in what you need, all of the nutrients from earth. Slowly exhaling to bend. One more time. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend, finding strength and groundedness in the feet. If you feel ready to grow, keeping the knees bent, we'll slowly roll up the spine from the middle to the upper. Coming to standing, we'll roll the shoulders once we get to the top. Finding ourselves in Tadasana, we can open the palms outward, finding grounding in our feet. Recalibrating the breath here. Here in Tadasana and mountain pose, we like to think about the strength that we find in our feet, giving us strength in our entire bodies. So if you can feel the groundedness in your feet, maybe wiggle back and forth, maybe come from the toes to the heels, whatever you need to do to feel firm, as if someone pushed you, you wouldn't budge. From here, we'll inhale, arms up overhead, extended mountain pose. Exhale, keeping the arms up overhead. Bring the shoulders down. Inhale again, reaching the palms up toward the sky. Exhale, release. One more time, inhaling like the leaves, reaching to grab nutrients from the sun. Exhale to release. We'll bring the arms back down by our sides. We'll inhale, extended mountain pose, reaching the arms up overhead. And as we exhale, we'll swan dive back down for forward fold. Slow inhale for flat back, pressing the hands against the shins, keeping the shoulders low, away from the ears, reaching the hips up and back. We can find a couple of breaths here. Breathing deep into the hips. And on your exhale, you can collapse, forward fold, bent knees. When you're ready, from here, we'll inhale, extended mountain pose again, reaching the arms up overhead. Slow exhale to swan dive down for forward fold. Slow, controlled inhale for flat back, reaching the hips up and back. Slow exhale, forward fold, bent knees. Inhale to reach the arms up overhead, extended mountain pose. Maybe extending in the back this time. Exhale, forward fold slowly with control. Inhale slowly, flat back. Exhale, forward fold, knees bent. From here, we'll press the hands into the floor and crawl forward into plank. We want to think about keeping our hands and feet in the same place here from plank going into downward dog. So we'll reach the hips up and back. Maybe pedaling out the feet in our first downward dog. Opening up the backs of the legs, calves. And when you're ready, we'll lift the right foot up behind us, bending the knee to bring it to the chest, and we'll drop it between the hands for lunge. Here we can think about stacking the knee above the ankle. And here in the lunge, we can think about pressing the left hip forward, keeping the left toes bent. If you'd like to, you can drop the knee down against the floor. From here, we'll press the left hand into the mat, reaching the right up and over. We'll drop the right hand down, this time on the inside, crawling the right foot out to open up the hip. Here we want to make sure the toe behind us is untucked. We can think about dropping into that left hip a little bit more, as long as our toes are in the same direction as our knees. We can think about pressing all parts of the feet, the right foot into the floor. If it feels good for you, you can come down to the elbows to open up the hips even deeper. And pressing back up, and tuck the toe behind us again. We'll send that right foot back to meet the left for plank. Reaching the hips up and back for downward dog again. We'll do the same thing on the left side. Lift the left leg. We'll bring the left knee to the chest and drop the left foot between the hands. Finding strength in our roots, in our feet, in the legs. Pressing the right hip forward. And then dropping that right knee down, untucking the toes. We'll press the right hand into the mat, sending the left hand up and over. Dropping the left hand down, this time we'll crawl out the left foot, opening up the hip. Again, making sure that the toes are pointing in the direction of the knee. And again, if it feels good for you here, you can come down to the elbows. And we'll press back up onto the hands. Tuck the back toe and send the left foot back to meet the right for our last plank. Pressing the hips up and back for our last downward dog. Maybe finding full expression of downward dog here, finding as much length in the spine as possible. Keeping the shoulders in their sockets. When you're ready, we'll slowly lower the knees down to the mat. From here, coming up onto the knees, I like to have knees hip distance. Again, touching the toes behind us. We'll press our hands into imaginary back pockets. I actually have back pockets. And we'll open up the chest, open up the shoulders, pressing the hips forward, finding balance here. Once you feel comfortable, you can lift the chin and allow the head to hang back. Finding that slow, controlled breath. And then when you're ready, we'll come back to child's pose, reaching the arms up overhead, letting the head hang heavy, recalibrating with that slow belly breath. From here, we'll meet seated, however you'd like to get there. Feet ahead into the floor. And we'll start by reaching the hands forward, lowering down into the mat with our lower back, middle back, and upper. Once the shoulders hit the ground, we can bring the arms out to a T. And we'll drop the knees left to right like a windshield wiper. Massaging the outer hips. And let's bring the knees back to center. We'll send the left leg high, reaching the heel up toward the ceiling. Here for this hamstring stretch, we can clasp the hands behind the knee and pulling in the leg toward the body. We can think about pressing the heel away from the body. Breathing into the sensation, into the hamstring. Let's point the ankle, foot, toe, flex, point, and flex. Maybe adding some topical heat to behind the knee. And then bending in this left knee, we'll drop the ankle on the right knee. And we'll thread our hands behind the right thigh, pulling in toward the body. You can think about pressing the left elbow against the left knee. And we can think about searching for that flat spine against the floor. Keeping flexion in both ankles to protect the knees. Finding that slow belly breath. And when you're ready, we'll release, bringing the left foot down and the right foot down. We'll do the same thing on the right side, reaching the right heel up toward the ceiling. Grabbing the back of the leg, we can pull in toward the body as you press away with the heel. Again, we'll point the ankle, foot, toe, flex, point, and flex, point, and flex. Adding some topical heat behind the knee. Giving your legs, your roots, some attention. Maybe stretching them out to find more capacity. From here, we'll drop the right ankle onto the left knee, threading through to behind the left thigh, pulling in toward the body, maybe pressing away with the right elbow. Again, trying to find a flat spine against the mat. Centering in with the belly breath. I apologize if you can hear any sounds coming from our side. When you're ready, we'll release, dropping both feet back down to the floor. From here, we'll send the arms back out to a T. And let's drop both knees over to the right side for a twist. And then we'll turn the chin toward the left, looking over our left palm. And to go deeper into this twist, we'll keep the left knee bent against the floor, stretching out the right. Again, keeping that slow, controlled breath. We can let go of any tension in the neck, in the shoulders. And from here, let's bend that right knee to meet the left. Bringing our feet back to the floor. We'll drop the knees over to the left side, turning the head to the right this time. Going deeper into our twist, we can keep the right knee bent, straightening out the left. Again, as you're here, you can release any tension in the neck, in the shoulders, in the upper back. Coming out of this pose, we'll bend the left knee to meet the right. And we'll bring our feet back to the earth. From here, let's bend the knees in toward the chest, giving our legs a big hug. Maybe rocking from side to side. Noticing we're back in that seed position, this time on our backs. We can think about appreciating our lower half, our legs, our strength, our roots. Offering yourself a moment now. Lend yourself that appreciation. Giving ourselves thanks. Honoring our bodies. Feeling grateful to be an able-bodied person. Feeling grateful to have working legs. And from here, going into Shavasana, we'll extend all of our limbs outward, allowing the ankles just to open up. You can open the palms upward or have them into the floor, releasing the shoulders and the hips, the hands and the feet, releasing all the weight into the floor. Our work in Shavasana is to do no work at all. And I'll invite us again to recalibrate the breath, finding that slow inhale and exhale. And while you're here, you can use the exhales to release, to let go, just to surrender your weight. In this moment, your job is to support nothing and no one. Just allow your body to be supported. Here you can use the exhales to release any tension in the hips. Use the exhales to release any tension in the shoulders, allowing them to sink deeper. Allow the arms to feel heavy, the ankles, the feet to feel heavy. Notice on the exhales, you can allow a release some tension in the eyebrows, relaxing in the jaw, the neck. Allowing yourself to feel open to receive. Maybe this is what restoration looks like, feels like. I'll invite, in our last couple of breaths here in Shavasana, self-reflection on the love we show ourselves today in our flow, reflecting on how we grounded on our roots, our strength. You gave yourself what you need to grow, to move upward, onward, to expand. Noticing that feeling once you've restored. to be able to grow, to be able to move, and to share. We'll bring some awareness back into the body, wiggling the fingers, wiggling the toes. We'll open up the eyes. Whenever you feel ready, you can roll over to one side, curling up into a ball, finding that seed shape one last time in our flow before pressing up, seated for closing breaths. And when you do find yourself seated, find a nice, tall, long spine. You can rest your hands on the knees, at heart center, or over the heart. We'll take our 4 closing breaths together. A breath for the ancestors that we bring into our practice, breathing in and out. A breath for the indigenous people who are here on this land and continue to be, breathing in and out. A breath to appreciate the support we receive from others, breathing in and out. And a breath for the restoration, the growth, the intentions and well-being of everyone practicing with us today, breathing in and out. The loving human in me bows down to the loving human in you. Namaste. Thank you for practicing with us today. We are continuing to take donations for our decolonization projects here at the House of Glitter on Venmo, the Glitter Goddess Venmo. You can check out our Facebook, the Glitter Goddesses and the House of Glitter. Again, check out ProvidenceHonkFest.org for more info on what I spoke about at the beginning of the flow. Exciting stuff coming up this weekend and next weekend. Trent will be on tomorrow at 8 a.m. And I will be here next Thursday. Bye.